called Transnistrovskaya. Transnistrovskaya. I hope I'm saying that somewhat close to how it should be pronounced. And it's on the east bank of the Dniester, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that river, which is also Nistru in Romanian. Okay? And that's in Moldova and the Ukraine. So following a Russian-backed battle for independence in Moldova in 1992, this country is now in a frozen conflict separatist breakaway state, not recognized by any country in the world, but it still sees major support from Russia. So Transnistria by the Western media is remarkably often referred to as a rebel state. I'm getting this information off offbeattraveling.com, and I will include it in the description box. Some even call it the black hole of Europe due to its dubious state of law and accusations of illegal weapon trafficking. Once part of Moldova, but unlike the rest of the country not wanting to seek closer relations with Romania, Transnistrians remained highly loyal to a then already collapsing Soviet Union back in the 90s, the early 90s, 92. Independence had already been declared in 1990 when 2 years later a short war broke out with Moldova. With the help of the Russian army, Transnistria was quick to claim victory, disconnecting from the region from the rest of Moldova for generations to come. It has little to no tourism, it's very isolated from the outside world, and relatively unknown in Europe. In fact, its status as a country is still open to debate. Having its own government, currency, constitution, police, secret police, central bank, border checks, national anthem, one could argue that it is indeed a country, but it suffers from even more of an identity crisis than, for example, Kosovo. Transnistria is not recognized by any country in the world, not even Russia, who is the one that primarily supports it, gives a lot of help. And I will include some pictures so you can see that it's sandwiched between, it's this strip that is sandwiched between Moldova and the Ukraine. And then on its other side, it has Romania. It's actually closer to the Ukraine. Okay. What else do we need to know? Okay. So, they still have a KGB, and if you go to that country and you get in trouble, good luck. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, so there's some information on Transnistria, and we are going to read on that because all of my Creepy Places videos have been requested by viewers. So let's just get a little bit more and we'll dive right in. Okay, so I just want to cover the comment made by the viewer that requested this, and it's Nell. She says her request was my Baba's house. Just kidding. That's her grandma's. Even though I think it's still haunted. But how about, she said, Transnistria, which I didn't know about. So I'm very grateful to Nell. She's a great viewer. I want to thank you all. So her question was if the land has healed at all, and if the Romanian government will ever acknowledge their crimes. So she just wants to know what the cards are going to say about Transnistria. And we'll just see what the cards are going to, come up. And I will ask if the Romanian government will ever acknowledge their crimes. I can just tell you right now, gut feeling is no. Unless it's going to be somehow beneficial for them to do so. And I don't know that this small of a country has anything that would make them have incentive to. Just a feeling. So let's get set up. Just wanted to give you a little background. Some people wonder how I get the Palo Santo to burn as long as I do, and that's because I light it and I let it catch on fire and then I let it burn itself to where it just, the flame naturally will be like this. And then it tends to last a little longer. But it lasts as long as it's supposed to, as far as I'm concerned. I'm getting all my, can I give you guys some too? Hey, I know you've probably been going through some rough stuff as well as me. So, let's get going. Alrighty, Transnistria. And if I'm not saying it correctly, Nell, I hope that you will phonetically put it in a comment so that we can all say it correctly. All right, I've got my river runes somebody did here. I can't find my shells right now. They're in my other room. And I've got my witch's moon. Even though it's really more for work on your own, like well-being work, you can use it as a clarifier. This deck is really cool. All right, and I've got Lilac Lanterns cards. Andrea, she's really wonderful, and I enjoy using her cards. So first off, though, I'm going to start out with the trusty, not so dusty Star Tarot. All right, I'm going to put this on pause because I'm going to be shuffling and asking things over and over again. I ask the universe, I ask the creator and the ancestors, my ancestors and the ancestors of Transnistria, to assist me to read accurately and clearly, because I am a flawed human being. I don't get everything right. So I really ask for the help to read accurately and clearly in all my readings, and I give thanks, always give thanks for the help you receive. Okay. So we want to focus to know whether or not, what we need to know about Transnistria. Is it healing from all this contention? And what do we need to know about its energy of this land? I don't know anything about it other than what I read to you. I didn't know it existed either, and I feel a little bit ashamed because I'm more familiar with Eastern Europe due to family coming from there. So this is so interesting to learn, and in all likelihood I have common ancestry from a test I did that I know that comes from the Ukraine and that the Romania, all that. That's probably where I get some of my blood that where people think I might be gypsy or something. I've had some people ask me that before. They just pick it up off me, and I think that's really what they might be picking up on. Okay. And again, pardon any background noise. I'm living with my 2 adult children as well as my husband, and my kids are adults, but they can be a bit noisy yet. So I'm asking Spirit to relate to us what we need to know about this place, its history, whatever Spirit thinks that we should know about this place that would be of interest to us, and its future. Okay. I feel ready with this deck. So let's just move this aside over here. It's not on fire anymore. All right. So we're going to go Celtic Cross. Oh, it does have secrets. There's a lot that is kept behind the curtain, literally. I just get the words coming to me that Iron Curtain still. That it's, even though Russia has said what it has, that it's no longer, in control of many of the Soviet satellite countries, I'm still feeling they're using that country, I feel like, for whatever they want to, especially within connection to the Ukraine and the contention there. Getting that. All right. But I'm also getting something that goes back way older than this modern day conflict, or what would be modern day in comparison. This feels ancient also. So I'm kind of getting a double hit. That will be interesting to see what other cards come around. Here we go with the Ten of Cups. Now the Ten of Cups is more on the emotive level, emotional, and it's the connection to family and society, and just usually like in good standing. And it is in a challenged position. So this good standing and this recognition of a place and its people is challenged. And this is the ancestry too. That 10 for me, when I get the 10 of Pentacles or the 10 of Cups, I feel a lot of ancestral, usually, connection. Unless it's going to go about more emotions or more, like in Pentacles, like money sometimes too. But this to me feels like ancestors. So there's a lot that goes on in that country that is hidden. And not just on the mundane level, but in a spiritual manner, because that's what I want to get at with this reading too. I'm not just going to read about the country and its mundane issues, not to say that it's not interesting, but we're going for the spooky here. So I like that I'm getting this, and I'm getting that there is ancient distinct ancestry watching that nation. It's connected. I'm trying to get out of my own way a little bit to kind of channel here. And here we have the Three of Pentacles. Now this makes me feel like here's Transnistria, and it's next to the Ukraine and Moldova on the other side. So on its east side, the Ukraine, and on its west side, to the west of it, it's just kind of a strip. You'll see it in the picture. This makes me feel this Three of Pentacles. It's earthly. It's the earthly realm. So the spirit is talking about these three nations, and they had, working together. This is collaboration, okay? Collaboration. And I always like to point out the eggs in this nest. I am also getting that parts of this place were recognized by different areas back before all this conflict. Some of it was recognized, I'm getting, by some people as being more Ukrainian, and I'm getting other people looking more to Moldova. And then I'm getting the people that don't accept the connection to either side, despite the ancestry that I do feel is spread in through these three places, these three nations. And it's still, but it also has its unique ancestry. There's something there that the ancestors are talking about here. Let's see if they'll help me to understand a little bit better. Because one of the reasons I love Halloween and All Saints' Day, Dia de los Muertos, is because it's for spirit and it's remembering ancestors. And so that's what we're doing here. And we're getting a very interesting story. Look, we're crowned by another 3. So this country and the ancestors, interestingly enough, identify connection with all 3. That they have this unique situation. Despite human beings maybe not recognizing it one way or another way, of the, whatever way that they do, I believe the ancestors see it as and acknowledge all 3. This is crowning. And so interesting that the 3 of Cups is crowning and the 3 of Pentacles is the basis that it sits on. Yeah, I'm very particular about how my cards look because it's how you pick up a hit sometimes if you have it laying. So, oh, look at that. So here we have the Ace of Swords, and this is about clarity. This is also about severing a tie and being out on one's own, so to speak. It's clarity. It's definitely has a severing kind of an effect. And that's in its recent past. So I feel that, pardon the glare, can't help it, overhead skylights. This, to me, is the separation by certain people. And various people will, I feel like it's showing, connect a various way. Some will say, I distinctly only recognize this country this way. Very opinionated situation there. That'll be tough to I think change too quickly. This perspective looks like it's been in place for a while, and it just seems like there's a lot of distinct opinions about their identity. The Ten of Wands. This is a heavy cross to bear. To me, unfortunately, this means the people, the nation, have a hardship. And it connects back to this varied perspective that people have within that area of where they belong and who they are. So this also makes this nation not thrive the way it should. It puts it in a position that it's more difficult to live and get by there. In some ways. The bear, also is making me feel like in this reading, because they do depend on Russia a lot, that they are in the paws of the Russian bear. And they will be in the near future for some time. I think Russia's really got its claws into this country, and I think it uses this country because it's conveniently not recognized to do what they do. Do things that I think they can get away with. Here is the Emperor, definitely feeling the ancestral people of this nation. This is definitely the husband, the father, and this place is still very much under authoritarian rule. And the people that are running this nation do not want it, I don't think, anytime soon to change, because those in power get a very nice, I think, way of living comparative to the rest of the people. So I'm feeling that those who work with Russia in that nation are content to keep it like that because they do well, even though it doesn't mean everyone else does well. We get the King of Swords in the environment. Very authoritarian, very militaristic. This land has, in its hopes and fears, tremendous trauma. Tremendous trauma. And feels caught in the middle. Just like that spider web, like that butterfly in the spider web. It's not free. And for a lot of people that are living there, can't afford to move, it's a hardship. And they worry. And I believe that the ancestors of this place have a lot of anxiety. They certainly did when they were living. I feel like this place has been fought for and skirmishing, I see that going on. Years of it. I don't even know the history of this place other than what I read to you. The final end result is interesting, though. We get the Princess of Cups, and this is a lightening up of all that heavy, Ten of Wands energy that is in the near future. So, something may very well change into the extended future with this place. Something new. And you notice there's a heavy masculinity all through here. The King of Cups, the Emperor, even most of the cards have, with the exception of the High Priestess and some of these others, but there's a very strong type of masculine presence. Well, this is interesting that we see then a lighter feminine energy, Princess of Cups, and it's a new start. So emotionally, I think this country could go through more difficulty that in the near future, and maybe because they don't have this official recognition, it's going to make it very hard. I think they're going to face hard times, even harder times coming. And it may end up in the future creating a desire to change. Something emotionally within people is softer, is changing, and more open. Here is that tug of war back and forth with the Two of Pentacles. It feels like something is again being contested or fought over, and I am feeling skirmishing going on. There is juggling, but I feel that it is energy that wants to bring a lighter, brighter energy in. And there is, not everyone's open and receptive to this. So I feel like there's push-pull. There's also, for some people, delusion. I think many people have got certain emotional investments in how they perceive this place and connect to it. There's confusion as well, which makes sense because the back and forth. You know, what nation, who are you? What are you going to, identify? So I feel like there could be, again, in the future, people after more hardship looking at going perhaps towards the Ukraine or Moldova. Maybe also Russia, for all I know. But this back and forth gets heated up. And there's some people that are arguing, wanting to, I think, keep it in a place of hardship. And there are more people that I feel like are going to resist this and say, no, we need more different type of opportunities, etc. in this country. I believe there is some healing coming to this nation in the near future. Not near future, I'm sorry, further future, because this is coming in right after we get the push-pull here. And eventually, with moderation, there could be, I think, some sort of peace keepers that are sent in potentially, or assistance to help them to work out a peaceful existence. And I see here a great deal of enthusiasm and activity to bring moderation in perspective and to that nation so that it's not at these extremes. So I think they are going to, something's going to happen further in the future where perhaps they're going to want to be officially recognized one way or another. Yes, I feel like by the rest of the society, the rest of the world, as a nation. And they're very hopeful. They're going to be going through more difficulty. I tend to think possibly more fighting, actually. Hopefully that would just be government verbal back and forth without people being harmed. But definitely it is not going to want to stay contested. And I don't think the ancestors want that, because they want it to thrive. They feel like it has connection to all three, but that it should definitely have its own recognition. Still murky, though. This is not going to be anything settled overnight. It's still I feel like a lot of secrecy and there are people that don't care about it. With that Four of Cups, there's a lack of feeling here. And this would be people probably trying to do things in a secretive, clandestine way. I think to try to interfere with any recognition of it. Gee, I wonder who would do that. Maybe, I don't know, Russia? Because I think Russia uses it for dirty work. Nine of Cups. It really wants to have the amenities, the better life than it has. It's still out on the outside of all the rest of the world, and it's not a good place to be in. It keeps it in a place of decline and in need. It doesn't thrive. And so that's what I'm getting from the ancestors, is they want this place to thrive. But countries like Russia and other people there that are in charge, that have the control, are not going to relinquish that quickly. They are too vested. That's unfortunate. It makes this nation stay in a place of stagnant. It's not good financially for its economy or its people. And I'm going to say the health of the people there, probably not so great. They probably, I'm feeling like, have shorter lifespans. I just don't feel like this place gets the love, gets the investment it needs to thrive on purpose. Well, there is death and getting help and asking for help. So I think this place could heat up in the future with activity, where there's people that are wanting it to become a recognized nation, and so it can receive help. I see a lot of potentially death going on, a loss. And I think it's going to need help. And so it's going to need to have, and I don't think it's just going to want help from one place, Russia. I think this is asking for outside help. The ancestors definitely want this place to thrive again. That's what they have in mind for it. And they don't see why. I think that they believe that, as in the past, where at some point it was able to get along with the nations that, surround it, and it had a place and it had recognition at one point. The ancestors of this place definitely do not like it doesn't have that, definitely want it to thrive, and are showing that in the future, I feel like we're going to have some fighting going on again with this area. And this area is going to need help. And there could be, unfortunately, a lot of loss to where they have to ask for help. People are watching this. There's so much deceit going on also, that things are not as they appear with that nation. That though they are made to look like they are this place or that place belonging to this nation or that nation, what I get is they are unique, and they are not as they are given to be recognized. I also feel like this nation, the help and the level of help that they need is deep, because there's so much criminal activity within its, I feel like those that are quote unquote running this nation. So there is deceit where something is offered as well. And that to me is probably Russia, and perhaps some other nations too, but definitely there's deceit where someone is offering something. And I tend to feel like it's Russia. Here, we'll give you this, and as a result, you'll get all of this. And the truth is, Russia's not doing that well. If they were to take this over, I don't know that they would do too much better. This is a much more fast response that comes into this offer, and it's a no. It's a rejection, because maybe they know that this offer is not a great offer, despite that it sounds like it is. It's like, again, there's something about on the outside it might look okay, but on the inside it's not. It's a different animal. It's a different thing altogether. So I feel like something's offered, and it would seem like it might be a great offer, but it isn't. Because sometimes the Knight of Cups can be very dubious about what's being offered to you. And I feel like this is a hard, fast no here. So I don't know if this is Russia or someplace else, but I feel like there's a very strong no, very quick no. The Queen of Cups. Now this is a new energy here that is more feminine. It is softer. It is about taking care of people and healing. And that looks to me like this place. I feel like the Queen of Cups is Transnistria in the future. And I feel that it might choose to just keep its own identity. And in the future, then, it would begin to do better with that Three of Wands. It begins to expand. And they begin to start to see some sort of an improvement in vitality with that nation. And it starts to go in a better direction. I think more people will travel there, maybe move there even. So I think it starts to become less militaristic, less kind of a hard place. Into the extended future, it will. Yeah. Princess of Pentacles. And it could be agricultural basis that they have, something that they can offer. There's an earthly blessing that they have. There's, resources of some kind there. They have something they can offer. And I do feel like they move forward in healing. Yes, in the future they will. They will get through a very dark era of a lot of death, immense suffering, immense violence, and mental oppression. Really oppressive, authoritarian energy is going to dissipate. In the future, new energy comes in, new start, and healing. Healing of heartbreak, healing of hardship. I think these people are just going to have to experience even more hardship, unfortunately, before things shift. Too many authoritarian narcissists in control that are trying to say they own it, that they recognize it. This is a card of having won a battle and being recognized. This may also be recognition that they have been under great oppression by hostile forces. So I see the Ace of Cups, overflowing cups. To me, it's like the freedom to finally, permission to exhale. And I think there's an honor of the loss, those that have lost their lives in this, for this place, in connection, and the loss to do with, I think it's been a real divide with families, etc. So I'm beginning to finally see the first real blooming of healing, but further into the future, and where more feminine energy that is softer, that is more gentle coming in, and people being, finally, more people being open to that there. Here we have the ancestors and the people, and I feel like, frankly, also wealth, economy, and communication with the outside world, and manifestation. I feel like the ancestry of this place wants it to thrive again and feels that it has something unique to offer the world. And it does. It has some sort of wisdom, and it needs to shine its individualistic light. The places within that area that make it unique, and the culture and the people, and the fact that you're probably having an area that is incorporating close by other cultures in with its own way. There's something very cool there. I'm feeling like more travel. It has been pretty much a remote place that maybe not everyone, has traveled to very much. Kind of been on the quiet. Rather hidden, out of the way, so to say. But I'm feeling like it will get more people traveling there eventually in the future. And maybe to do with steady work. I feel like there's something unique from that area that they may be known for that will be a means of industry and education. And here we have judgment. So I'm feeling like karmically there's a cycle that ends and opens up for a new beginning to expand and move beyond what they have been in, which is really stagnant, heartbreaking hardship. All right, so there's my reading on Transnistria. I don't really feel like it's a creepy place, but I do feel like it's an interesting read on an interesting country. So I hope you enjoyed this, and don't worry, I've also got another creepy place coming for you. All right, take care. If you enjoy this content, thumbs up. Make sure you share with like-minded individuals, and make sure that you're subscribed. If you notice that you're not seeing my stuff, check and make sure that you are yet subscribed, because YouTube does sometimes unsubscribe people despite what they say. All right, thank you.